Hello! Today I'm going to talk about something that I've been asked about a few times in recent weeks, and that's Telrads. Now, I'm quite surprised how many people on astronomy forums and various different places don't know what a Telrad is, or they may have heard of it, but don't know what it actually does. This is a Telrad. Now, it's effectively a non-magnifying finder scope that superimposes a small reticule, a glowing red reticule, onto the sky to aid you in pointing your telescope to the right place. Now, it's a black plastic box that isn't the prettiest thing in the world, but functions very well. It's got an angled piece of glass here. It's not mirrored in any way or anything. It's just a piece of glass that both transmits what you see through it, plus acts as a reflective surface for the reticule, which I'll show you in a minute. Now, it's very big for what it is, which means it doesn't fit very well on smaller scopes. There is a smaller version which is made by a different company but effectively does the same thing, called a Rigel quick finder. Smaller device, sort of stands more vertically, but basically does the same thing. And they're generally better for smaller scopes, that or a normal red dot finder. Now, inside, there's a lot of space, firstly, but secondly, there's a battery pack with two AA batteries, plus, if I switch it on, you can see inside there is a glowing red reticule. Now, the other end, there's a mirror, which you can see if I put my finger there, you can see it's actually reflecting upwards. The reticule gets reflected in the glass panel that sits above the lens. So basically, you are seeing the sky through it with the reticule superimposed on top, which to me is such a better way of finding a patch of the sky or aligning to a star or something like that, because, well, for several reasons. Firstly, let me put the top back on. Firstly, put it on the right way up. Firstly, you are looking through this device and you can keep both eyes open. Now, that doesn't sound like much, but to me it makes a massive difference to the comfort when you're actually using it. Secondly, you have the fact that you don't have to be right up to it. You don't have to have your eye right up to it like that. You can actually be right back from it. There we go. And you can still see the reticule. Now, that was the reason for me going for one of these in the first place. I have quite a long 1200mm focal length Newtonian reflector, which was on a Dobsonian base, which was great because it meant that the finder was nice and low down. The only trouble is, as soon as I put it onto a new mount for guiding purposes, etc., and for tracking, which was an HEQ5 Pro, the finder ended up, most of the time, pretty much about 1.5 feet above my head, which, unless you carry a set of steps around with you, is kind of, well, let's just put it like this, the contortions I had to do to get to it, yeah, not good. So, what I did was buy one of these instead, which meant I could actually I could stand back behind the scope, look along the scope through the Telrad, and still be able to use the finder. Fantastic. So these things, really, they polarise people. Some people love them, some people absolutely hate them. I must admit, most people I've introduced them to, or I've introduced to them, do like them and end up using them as at least their primary finder. Even if you use this as your primary finder to get you to the right region, and then use a magnifying finder, a right angle finder or 9x50 straight through finder, something like that, for slightly more, for slightly tuning your position. then great. But I must admit, I don't use the middle bit. I just go straight from this to the eyepiece. As long as this is aligned properly. By the way, you align it using the 3 thumb screws at the back here. Then it works very, very well. Yeah, so that is a Telrad. Thank you for watching.